Navadip Tam ki jai, Jagannath Puri ki jai, Gangamai ki jai, Jamanamai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Hari Bo. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for leading us this evening on the continuation of Chapter 1, Canto 1. So request all the devotees, if you have any questions or comments, you can, at the appropriate time, you can raise your hand using the raise hand feature, or you can type in your question if you like, and we can unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. That's fine. And then at the end, if you have any other questions, you can, any of those channels you can use to make your comments. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschita Deshatane Vanchakol Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you all for kindly coming and taking part. The Parikshit Maharaj has been greeting the sages and offering them obeisances. I confess that I'm not 100% sure where we left off, but I believe it's 119.16. If not, then we'll be repeating ourselves a little bit, which is fine. Punascha bhuyad bhagavatyanante rati prasangas Shatadashrayeshu Mahatsu Yam Yam Upayami Shrishtim Maitrashtu Sarvatra Namod Vijayabhyaha. Again, offering obeisances unto all of you Brahmins, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, association with his devotees, and friendly relations with all living beings. The ideal prayer of Parikshit Maharaj is represented here. Again, offering obeisances to the Brahmins and praying, Rati prasangas tadashrayetu. May I can have Rati, attraction for the unlimited personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, and prasangas ashrayeshu, close association, prasanga, with those who've taken shelter of the Lord, tadashrayeshu, mahatsu, within the material creation, wherever I may take my birth, and maitri astu sarvatra, and may I have friendship with all living beings. The best friend of all living beings is the one who helps them remember their eternal relationship with the supreme living being, Krishna. Krishna is the best friend, Suridam Sarvabhutanam, and the devotee is also friendly because he sees that all living beings are parts of Krishna, so they're also brothers and sisters, and he wants to see everyone in relationship to Krishna, and bring back the upstart sons to a saner stage and get them to accept the supreme fatherhood of God. He wants the association of devotees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, better to be born as an insect in the home of a devotee. I'd rather have that than to be Bahirmukh Brahma, a non-devotee Brahma. Any questions or comments here? Okay. Iti sma rajadhya vashaya yukta prachina muleshu kusheshu dhira udanmako dakshina kula aste samudra patnya swasuta yastapada. In perfect self-control, Maharaj Parikshit sat down on a seat of straw with straw roots facing the east, placed on the southern bank of the Ganges, and he himself faced the north. Just previously, he had given charge of his kingdom over to his son. So everything's set up in the right direction, the kusha grass facing the right way, the seed is well settled, and Maharaj Parikshit handed over the charge of administration to his son before leaving home. He was thus fully equipped for all favorable situations. Yudhisthira Maharaj had done the same thing before Yudhisthira Maharaj left home, seeing that Kali Yuga had begun and Krishna had left. Maharaj Yudhisthira prepared to go back to Godhead. He left for the Himalayas and his brothers followed him. But before doing that, he established Parikshit on the throne of Hastinapur. Similarly, Parikshit established his son, Janamejaya, as the ruler. And having done so, he put aside everything, his royal dress, all his connections, his wealth, his identification as a king, and went off to the side of the Ganges, taking this humble position of wanting to perfect his life before death, or wanting to use the last days of his life suitably, most advantageously before death. This, we've talked about this, I think, many times in this series, the need to hand things over. The Prabhupada talks about this extensively in that chapter about the Pandavas leaving timely. It's everyone's duty to hand things over from two sides, one for his own benefit, to free oneself from the burden of material preoccupations and entanglements, and also to make the way for a new generation, which will move things forward. So Parikshit Maharaj set this example. Any comments or questions here? Okay. Evam chatasmin nadadeva deve prayopavishte divideva sangha prashasya bhumau vyakiran prasunayar uda muhur dundubayas chaneduhu. Thus the king, Maharaj Parikshit, sat to fast until death. Fasting until death means the senses will be subdued. The senses feed on food, When we eat, the senses get strength. And when we fast, the senses become weaker. So the king's determination to fast until death meant that his senses would be subdued. They would be less powerful. Of course, the king was assured of his death within 7 days. Otherwise, this fasting to death means assuring that we'll leave. That's also a Vedic and an approved way of leaving this world. Suicide is not approved in by the Vedic authority, but fasting till death is accepted. When one knows that now death is upon me, one can give up eating, drinking, and that means that one will go. Just the opposite of the modern desperate attempt to stay alive at all costs, to try A, try B, try C, try D, appeal to the doctors to use all of their skill and whatever machinery or procedures are at their command. Just please let me go on living. Or in other settings, acting dishonorably so that one can save one's skin. So here, the king accepted, death is upon me. So let me fast till death on the bank of the Ganga. And knowing that the king was leaving this world, the demigods also celebrated his decision. They were, as Prabhupada says, delighted. And so they scattered flowers. All the demigods of the higher planets praised the king's actions, and in pleasure continually scattered flowers over the earth and beat celestial drums. And Prabhupada comments that the demigod takes pleasure in seeing someone go back to Godhead. He's always pleased with a devotee of the Lord, so much so that by his adhidaivic powers, he may help the devotees in all respects. And by their actions, the Lord is pleased with them. There's an invisible chain of complete cooperation between the Lord, the demigods, and the devotee of the Lord on earth. This is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Praspara Bhavyanta Shreya Paramavapsyata Devan Bhavyatane Te Devya Bhavyantu. In the proper setup of things, there's cooperation. The devotee knows that these natural forces are controlled by the demigods according to the laws of the Lord. So the devotee, of course, if he's not a pure devotee of the Lord, he may directly perform yajnas to satisfy the demigods. Otherwise, the pure devotees pour water on the root of the tree. They offer sacrifice for the satisfaction of Krishna. And then all the demigods are pleased. If I worship Ganesh, then what about Lord Shiva? I've pleased Ganesh, but I haven't worshipped Lord Shiva. If I worship Lord Shiva, I haven't worshipped Indra or Chandra or so many others. If I worship these demigods, I haven't worshipped those demigods. So people may worship this god on Tuesday and that god on Wednesday and another god on Friday. But by worshiping Krishna, one satisfies all the demigods. What is that? Sarva Arhanam Achyuteja. All the demigods are satisfied. And there's cooperation, the demigods being pleased with the uh, honest life of the devotee, offer uh, blessings in the form of uh, regulated rain, regulated sunshine, everything needed for human prosperity. So there's a natural cooperation. But in the present setup, we deny that there's any divine force behind nature. Everything is mechanical, everything is material, and therefore uh, amenable to our manipulation. We'll uh, have factories, we'll have machines, we'll have scientific discoveries, and we'll harness the forces of nature for our sense gratification. But that doesn't work. That produces a society of thieves. What is that? Uh, Adatana pradayebhyo yobhunkte stain evasaha. Those who simply want to take the resources, use the resources of nature without acknowledging the mm, superiority of the Lord or the representatives of the Lord are just thieves. Yobhunte stain avasa. They're enjoying like thieves, and therefore they won't be happy. Thieves are always in anxiety that I may be caught, I may be detected, or my fellow thieves may try to steal my share, or they're scheming how to get more from their fellow thieves. Now, this is the present setup, but in the divine arrangement, the human beings acknowledge their place in the creation. They're below the Lord, below the demigods, above the animals and plants and trees. So the human beings are to act responsibly, to use whatever they receive for Krishna's service. And then the demigods become pleased, and there's complete cooperation between the Lord, the demigods, and the devotee. Some questions have appeared. My question is, in service to Krishna, if we hand over our service to another devotee, and if we see that the devotee is not as enthusiastic to perform that service as we are, as we were, what should be done? Is Yashoda Dulal on this call today? He's our managerial expert.
I don't see him. He's usually on the call somehow. I don't see him.
He's usually here, but when we need him.
Yeah.
Okay, so in his absence, I'll do my best. First thing is that we should choose wisely. Just randomly, okay, I'm out of here, you take this, is not the best means of succession. Ideally, our successor will have been someone that we've recognized early on for his qualifications, whom we've trained over a good stretch of time, years usually, and who is already essentially moving into the service. So it's not an abrupt business that I want to leave. Where can I find someone to take up my slot? And then in that circumstance, it's catchers catch can. You put an ad on Dundavats or whatever, seeking a successor. The successor doesn't really know what your business is about. He's not trained, and he's interested today, but maybe tomorrow he's not interested. That's less than ideal. Therefore, I quoted before a management maxim that from the first day on the job, you're looking for your successor, so that ideally that person is there and well engaged and ready to move in when you move out, and take it up responsibly and enthusiastically. If he's not as enthusiastic, what else should be done? Well, one thing is, if you've left, it's not your problem anymore. You've left and you've done your best. You've chosen your successor. You've handed over the keys. You've decided to go. Now it's up to those who are, it's up to your successor and those who are working with him. It's not your job anymore. That's detachment. That I'm not going to run this corporation forever, or I'm not going to be in charge of this organization or be sitting in this seat forever. So I do my best to see that the seat is properly filled, and then I go. And if there are problems after that, that's for the next batch of people to deal with. Perhaps I was a problem. I was too enthusiastic, or I was, I saw things from too pushy, or I saw things from my own perspective, which may not have been the best. Now I'm out. And I turn my face toward the next phase, especially Vanaprastha sannyas means setting aside my old duties and going back to Godhead. Sannyas especially, we take sannyas and then we get word my wife is not doing well, my children are having problems. It's not for me to go back. It's not for me to go back and say, I took sannyas, but I thought my wife would be in better health. I thought my wife would be in less anxiety. I thought my wife would be able to take care. There's no turning back. One goes forward. And one has to have that, therefore, at the sannyas stage, confidence that Krishna will take care. I've put in whatever best arrangement I can. The children are there, or the elder brother is there, whoever's there. I've done my best, and now I've moved on. And when I move on, I don't look back. Somehow or other, if I were to die, things would go on. And sannyas means civil death. It's as good as death. The dead man doesn't come back to try to help with the former family and work things out. Now it's for others to handle, because he's moved on to other responsibilities, actually to a greater responsibility. So we do our best. We try to encourage in the hand-holding stage when we haven't yet given up, but we're moving things to the next stage. We try to encourage our chosen person, or change course and see this person is not the man, it should be someone else. But once we've decided to go, don't be fooled by, no, we need you because. Once we've made that determination to move forward, we move forward. Parikshit Maharaj didn't look back to see if everything was going on all right in the kingdom. There'll always be something. And it's beyond our control. Eventually it will be totally beyond our control, because we'll be gone. We'll be dead. Otherwise, when we retire or renounce, we're gone. And it's for the others to come up and move history forward without us. Is that okay? Okay. It says a demigod takes pleasure in seeing someone go back to Godhead, Yet sometimes we hear of a demigod's interference in practice of yoga. No, the demigods are happy when someone goes back to Godhead. When he goes back to Godhead, he won't be aspiring for my post. Let him go back to Godhead. As long as he doesn't want to be Indra, that's okay. Let him go back to Godhead. I'll be very happy. Okay. And actually that extends to other areas, in the material life, we're in competitive relationships. We're occupying a post that someone else may want, or exerting influence in such a way that someone else is unhappy with. We have our allies and our opponents. But when someone moves on, then people are happy. Yes, he's gone on to, he's gone to Vrindavan, or he's accepted, he's retired. Then everybody wishes you well, we hope. And if they don't, it's not because you're in the way. It's not because you're in the way. It's not because the younger generation is chomping at the bit and you're blocking their progress, or because this person or this group is blocked in their aspirations. Now you've moved on, and everyone wishes you well. Even something comes to mind. I didn't mention it in an earlier class, but our godbrother Hansadutta Prabhu left this world last week, I think. And he did tremendous service for Prabhupada, preaching Krishna consciousness movement, really accomplishing a lot, doing wonderful Sankirtan, so many things. But he had difficulties also, and caused trouble also. And so he was a controversial person. But as far as I've seen, upon his departure, people are remembering his good side, his accomplishments, his contribution. And we think that Krishna also sees the good side of a devotee's contribution. Prabhupada said that. So it's a Latin maxim, de mortuis non nihil bonum. About the dead, nothing but good. That's the guideline on proper behavior. That whatever controversies there may have been, when someone dies, we appreciate the good side. So when someone retires from material life or renounces material life, then we should appreciate, now this person has moved on to be more absorbed in spiritual pursuits. And the person who's leaving also solicits the good wishes of everyone. As we see Maharaj Parikshit is doing here. He's offering his obeisances to the Brahmins. He's he's taking shelter of the Ganga. He's really praying for the blessings of everyone in his determination to go back to Godhead. And this is the ideal standard. Is that all right? Yes, de mortuis nihil nisi bonum. That's it. Of the dead, nothing but good should be said. Okay. And that's good for the living. those who are even, why nothing but good for the dead? Even for those who are living, we should try to appreciate the good qualities of others. That's the quality of a saintly person or a Vaishnav, that he's a dosha darshi. He doesn't like to see the faults in others. He looks to see their good qualities. Maharshiyo vai samupagata ye prashasya sadviti anumodamana uchu prajanugraha shila sara yad uttama shloka gunabhirupam. All the great sages who were assembled there also praised the decision of Maharaj Parikshit, and they expressed their approval by saying, very good. Sadhu iti, sadhu, sadhu, very good. The sages encouraged. They're sages. They're not small-minded, petty-minded men. They're learned sages, and they all praised the decision. Sadhu iti, very good. Anumodamana, approving and being very pleased with his decision. Naturally, the sages are inclined to do good to common men, for they have all the qualitative powers of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they were very much pleased to see Maharaj Parikshit, a devotee of the Lord, and they spoke as follows. Praja anugraha. They're inclined to do good for others. This is also the sign of a sage. The demons are inclined to do violence to others, to exploit others, to, as we say, screw others. But a devotee or a saintly person or a godly person only wants good for others. Anugraha, what will be favorable for others, that's what he wants to do. Prajanugraha. So they wanted all the best for Maharaj Parikshit. Anugraha Shila Sara. And they were qualitatively powerful, like the Supreme Lord, because of being aligned with the Lord. So they were pleased to see Maharaj Parikshit, who's described here as Abhirupa, as beautiful as godly qualities, Guna Abhirupam. The natural beauty of a living being is enhanced by rising up to the platform of devotional service. Maharaj Parikshit was absorbed in attachment for Lord Krishna. Seeing this, the great sages assembled were very pleased, and they expressed their approval by saying, very good. Such sages are naturally inclined to do good to the common man, and when they see a personality like Maharaj Parikshit advance in devotional service, their pleasure knows no bounds, and they offer all blessings in their power. The devotional service of the Lord is so auspicious that all demigods and sages, up to the Lord himself, became pleased with the devotee, and therefore the devotee finds everything auspicious. All inauspicious matters are removed from the path of a progressive devotee. Meeting all the great sages at the time of death was certainly auspicious for Maharaj Parikshit, and thus he was blessed by the so-called curse. of a Brahmin boy. So these beautiful qualities are there in a devotee. He, as the Lord is full in the opulence of beauty, a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit or saintly persons like the sages become beautiful, not materially beautiful. That's not the standard. But their beauty is their devotion, their purity, their, um, yes, the sanctity of their consciousness. These things develop, what is that? Yes, yasti bhaktir bhagavat chikinshana savar gunais tatra samasate sura. A person who's wholeheartedly devoted to the service of the Lord develops all the godly qualities. So everyone becomes pleased with him. And especially the saintly persons, sages, and other devotees become pleased with such a devotee, and they desire all good fortune for him. So the uh, demigods do their best to uh, remove all impediments. The saintly persons and sages give their blessings. And this is the ideal of a devotee's life, especially toward the end of life. Uh, Even we see that in business, there's tricky dealings and competitive dealings, and there are friction is created. But therefore, that's another reason why one retires. One doesn't want to be involved in friends and enemies for his whole life. One doesn't want to be involved in uh, politics, either at the national level or at the international level or at the family level or interpersonal level. One wants to be pure in heart. That's described about Vidura. When Vidura left home, he went on pilgrimage because he felt that he'd been contaminated by all these uh, palace politics at Hastinapur. He executed his duties very responsibly. He always gave um, suitable advice. But naturally, uh, the whole atmosphere was surcharged with uh, politics and from Duryodhana, acrimony, resentment, envy. So, in the association of the Kauravas, the Vidura felt that uh, affected. Uh, he'd been affected by that association. So he also left and traveled to the holy places to purify himself. When Parshuram, after killing all the Kshatriyas 21 times, uh, he felt that he'd committed some uh, sin, although he's the incarnation of the Lord. And so he uh, performed sacrifice at the Samanta Panchak. So this is the spirit of the the devotee, or the right direction for human life before it ends, to free oneself from all these large and small intrigues, preoccupations, worries, anxieties, burdens, entanglements, and direct oneself toward the service of the Lord and toward leaving this world in Krishna consciousness. So the sages fully approved of Maharaj Parikshit's decision. They encouraged him by saying sadhu, sadhu. And they were very pleased. They were delighted that he had taken up this path. Any questions or comments here? Didn't Krishna himself retire from killing demons at a certain stage? That's an interesting question. Well, he finally retired from the world. He decided to leave. Otherwise, did he retire from killing demons at a certain stage? Not that I recall. You have something in mind there, Kendra? Kendra Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. No, I was thinking that at a certain stage, like when he visited his devotees, Bahulashva, and the Brahmana in the same village, there was some talk, if I'm recalling right, that they knew that Krishna had put away his weapons at that point and was just sort of traveling recreationally. But the whole dynamic of that stage of his life or his pastimes is not really fleshed out in the Bhagavatam from what I've read. I thought you might know more.
No, I don't have any thoughts there. And nothing stands in my mind that, okay, Krishna decided that's it. I'm done with killing demons. Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anything else here so far?
There's a question from Santosh Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I have a question from the purport which we just read. One of the lines says at the end of the purport, all inauspicious matters are removed from the path of a progressive devotee. So how do we understand that? Because we hear so many times that the devotees get more obstacles and Krishna tests them, like the Pandavas and Kunti, and so many devotees, they get so many obstacles. And here Srila Prabhupada is saying that everything gets removed on the path from a progressive devotee. So how do we understand these two things?
When a devotee undergoes difficulty or encounters obstacles, that's also auspicious for the devotee. In material life, we have so many attachments, so many illusions, so much dirt in our hearts, so much of an accumulation of past karmic reactions, good or bad. And when we undergo trouble, we're purified of these things. Tapa, another meaning of tapasya, and tapa literally means heat. Like when you heat up some, like scientists, they'll heat up an implement of some sort to purify it. The doctors now, they have those, I forget what they're called, but there's a way that you put it in basically in a machine that heats it.
It's an autoclave.
Autoclave, thank you very much. Put it in the autoclave and it's heated, and then it's purified. So sometimes Krishna puts the heat on the devotee, and the devotee may feel, whoa, but it's purification. Just like Krishna danced on Kaliya Naga's heads. And Kaliya Naga's fighting back, and he's trying to bite the Lord. But because Krishna's got thunderbolts on his feet and he was pounding on Kaliya's heads, finally Kaliya's started losing strength, and he was vomiting up all sorts of poison and refuse. And what did that mean? It meant he was becoming purified. And he said, you know, I've taken this birth as a snake due to my past sinful activities. But by pounding him, Krishna blessed him. Just like sometimes in Ayurvedic treatment, there's vomiting. That's one method of treatment. So what is that vomiting? It's purification. It's purification. The unwanted toxins in the body are expelled. So when a devotee undergoes tribulations or difficulties or encounters obstacles, that's purifying. The devotee becomes strengthened, just like steel, tempered steel. That means they heat it and they cool it again and they heat it again, and it becomes stronger. So the devotee, by undergoing tapasya voluntarily or by being put into trouble by the Lord, becomes strengthened and purified. Therefore, actually, tapasya, if we don't get it, if we don't get trouble coming upon us, we accept it voluntarily. We go looking for it. Let me undergo some trouble for self-purification, whether it's fasting on Ekadasi or it's going out and distributing books for hours on end or whatever it may be. Let me undergo some trouble so that I can be purified. So the devotee sees when I'm undergoing trouble, that's also Krishna's kindness. If Krishna makes it easy for me, that's his mercy. And if Krishna makes it difficult for me, that's also Krishna's mercy. Therefore, the yata tata va, you can do with me as you like. You can embrace me or you can kick me. Just do something with me. Don't abandon me. So the devotee is blessed, even when there's something apparently inauspicious. When Vidura was insulted by Duryodhana and had to quit or decided to quit his post, that might have seemed inauspicious for him. But actually he took it. Thank you very much, Duryodhana. I'm out of here. It was a blessing. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by the son of a Brahmin to die, to be bitten by, and not to die peacefully in his sleep, to be bitten by a snake bird, whatever that is. Some magical creation. But he took it as a blessing that I've insulted a sage, so I've encouraged, I've acted sinfully. So this is good. This will purify me. So a devotee is always blessed because he's always fixed in devotional service. Therefore, it said, Tam vidya dukkha sangyogam viyoga yoga sangita. What is that? Gurunapi vichalyate. What is that in 6th chapter? Tam labdva chapram lava manyate nadikam tataha yasmin stato nadukena gurunapi vichalyate. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, he's situated in such a blissful situation in the service of the Lord that even the heaviest miseries don't dislodge him. Yasmin stato nadukena guruna api vichalyate. Guruna means heavy. Dukena means by miseries. Dukena Guruna. Not even by the heaviest miseries is he uh, displaced or deviated or yeah, diverted from the path of Krishna consciousness. He remains situated in that way, in the devotional service of the Lord. And therefore his position is auspicious. In one sense, he's not affected by the illusory energy. The illusory energy sometimes makes my life happy and sometimes makes my life miserable in terms of this body and the modes of nature and past reactions, this, that. But when the devotee is fixed in the devotional service of the Lord, Shubha Shubha Palarevam Mokshase Karma Bandhana, is that right? Yes. Then one is freed from Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupayashasi. He's freed from Shubha and Ashubha results. Generally, we want to be freed from Ashubha, inauspicious circumstances, and we want everything to be auspicious. But by engaging in devotional service to Krishna, Shubha Shubha Palarevam Mokshase, one is freed from materially auspicious and materially inauspicious, because auspicious circumstances are also an entanglement. Janmai Shraya Shrutashri, to be beautiful, to be highly reputed, to be a member of a good family, to be highly learned. All of these things are auspicious, but they're entanglements. They're sources of material identification, material pride usually, but I identify myself as being this. I have these auspicious credits, or I desire these auspicious credits. But the devotee is freed from the inauspicious and the auspicious. Shubha Shubha Palarevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanai Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma, because he's detached and always fixed in Bhakti Yoga. Yes, Vimukto Mamupayashasi. He's perfectly liberated and he goes back to Godhead. Upayashasi. He Mamupayashasi. He attains Krishna. Is that okay?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Anything else in the 3 minutes remaining?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Somebody's speaking, but their voice is very faint.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maharaj. It's Athena. How are you?
You just, Hare Krishna, I think if you're closer to your microphone or if your microphone volume's turned up or whatever you need to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I had two questions. And when you had said that devotees welcome hardships, and if you don't receive it, then you should go looking for it. So this made me think of, I think it's a verse that says, when Krishna has special mercy on a devotee, he takes everything away.
Right.
So, and Raghu has a very nice saying. He says, if Krishna likes you, he gives you everything. But if he loves you, then he takes everything away. So that made me think when you said you should go looking for hardships. I'm sure there's no formula, but how do devotees make sure or get to the level of receiving that special mercy where Krishna takes everything away? I'm sure false renunciation of saying, giving up my home, give up my family, or it might not guarantee that Krishna shows you special mercy. So that's my first question of is there something that devotees can do to make sure they attract that special mercy? And then if in a case a devotee feels like everything's getting taken away, even say devotees or stability or financially, family. How do you know that that is a result of Krishna's special mercy versus your karma?
Okay, taking your, let's see, because there are two questions there. How do we know that it's Krishna's, how do we attract Krishna's mercy? That was the first thing. In the form of well, sometimes we pray for it, just as Kunti Devi is praying, please cut my attachments. Please let these tribulations happen again and again so that I can always be connected with you. So devotees sometimes pray that I have so much, junk, so many, wonderful things that are all holding me back. Please cut my attachments. Please cut my attachments. I know that I've worked hard for these things. I know that I've prayed for these things. Please get me out. So that's one thing. Devotees can pray. Please do what you need to do to free me from these entanglements. That's one thing. And it's also, Krishna can do as he likes. He may bless us in one way or bless us in another way. It's not that he always smashes everyone that he favors. He has other ways of favoring people. But especially when we see that we're attached, entangled, then these are ways we can approach Krishna. Please get me out of here. Get this out of my heart. So that's one thing. Then there are different things that purify the heart. I said he goes looking for trouble. It's not that a devotee is masochistic and he's, doing horrible austerities to punish himself. But there are prescribed things that we do to undergo trouble. We follow Ekadasi. We rise early in the morning. We do other things that are perhaps inconvenient or troublesome for the sake of self-purification. We take up preaching where there's hardship. Devotees who dedicate themselves to distributing books or to doing some other kind of service that's hard. They're putting themselves in, they're looking for trouble in one sense. You go out in the street, you don't know what's going to come, but that's, they know that this will be beneficial for others. Prajanugraha, it will be beneficial for others, and it will be beneficial for me. So the austerities prescribed by the spiritual master, not whimsically undergoing self-torture or something like that. Then your last question was, how do we know whether something's Krishna's mercy or our karma? Our karma is also Krishna's mercy. That's also Krishna's mercy. When there's some good or bad, everything is Krishna's mercy, finally. The devotee sees Krishna's hand is everywhere. So if I'm getting, and that's also stated in several places in the Bhagavatam, where it's said that when a devotee is enjoying, or any living entity, when he's enjoying, he's getting the results of his past good karma. And when he's suffering, he's working off the results of his past bad karma. He's reducing the volume of his sinful activities. Like a person in jail, if you've been sentenced to 20 years, every day is a day off your sentence. Right? So when we're suffering, our sinful reactions are being reduced. And a devotee, even when he's enjoying, it's like there he's also reducing his pious activities. Like a person who goes on vacation, he's spending every day, after 2 weeks, the cash is gone and he's got to go back to work. So by enjoying or by suffering, one reduces one's past pious or sinful accumulation of karma. And a devotee, specifically, by engaging in Krishna's service, karmani nirdahati kintuja bhakti raja. By engagement in devotional service, one is freed from all the results of past karma. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. And we're out of time.
All right. Thank you very much, Maharaj. It's a very
Thank you.
enlivening discussion. And we look forward to hearing from you the rest of the week on Wednesday and Friday. And I just have a quick couple of announcements on the upcoming events. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, so this week we have another blockbuster lineup. Prepare to get inspired. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami will continue in Canto 1 at 8 p.m. On Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we have Her Grace Malati Devi Dasi. She is one of Srila Prabhupada's earliest disciples, and so she'll be speaking tomorrow evening. And then on Thursday evening, we have His Grace Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, and he'll be speaking on the topic of going back to the basics in practicing our Krishna consciousness. And then on Saturday morning at 11 a.m., it's a special class by His Grace Kripa Moya Prabhu from the UK. And then Saturday evening at a regular time, 8 p.m., His Holiness Devamrita Swami will be joining us. And then Sunday evening at 6 p.m., His Grace Anuttama Prabhu will talk to us on the importance of communications among devotees and between devotees. So please join us in the same channel at these various times. And I want to thank His Grace Yashodalal Prabhu and Nilmani Prabhu for helping coordinate so many of these nice speakers. And I want to thank all of you for attending and supporting this, this channel with your enthusiastic participation. We look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow night. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Bye.
Haribol, Haribol.
Hari Hari.
Haribol.